One person can stand up to the whole world, but can one person stand up to a column of tanks and inspire a protest? In 1989, Chinese students in Beijing took a stand by protesting against the communist system, making it the most significant protest against the oppression of the Chinese Communist Party. On May 4th, 1919, it was known to be the very first protest that took place in China. It wasn't just one protest, but a series of protests from Chinese students, intellectuals, and professionals, followed by the news that the Treaty of Versailles had granted areas of China that had been controlled by Germany. The students of the University of Beijing and the citizens were protesting about how they wanted to have a democratic system instead of having a communist party that would harass their rights and not let them be free. This led to many young people to begin looking for alternative political systems to guide their country, including a rise in popularity of communism. This protest, unfortunately, the protest of 1919, was not successful. As the years went by, the communist system in China continued. On September 12, 1982, a new leader of the Communist Party had been in office. His name was Hu Yaobang. On April 15, 1989, Hu Yaobang had died of a heart attack. He was the former Chinese Communist Party leader and General Secretary. He had freed many Chinese during the Mao Cultural Revolution. This had gotten him arrested. He believed in liberty. He was removed from his power 2 years before his death because of his liberalism. His death had sparked the protest once again. Later, they were named as the Counter-Revolutionaries. Many of the students gathered in the Tiananmen Square for his memorial in peace. That day, the students had made a pledge. It said, "I pledge to use my young life to defend Tiananmen and to defend the Republic. My head may be cut off, the blood may flow, but Tiananmen Square must not be lost. I will fight until the last person falls." Soon after this, the government sent out a message that counter-revolutionary rebellion was now taking place. They ordered all citizens and students that were in the square to leave immediately and let the troops carry out their tasks. They could not guarantee the safety of those who disagreed to their advice. Right away, the government took action by sending out troops, killing 241 citizens, students, and soldiers. 7,000 were reported wounded in this massacre. On June 5, 1989, the government noticed that the students and citizens of Beijing continued their protest. They decided to end it all by sending out lines and lines of tanks. The tanks were heading towards Tiananmen Square, and one man alone stood in front of a column of tanks, stopping them from moving any further. The tanks were trying to go around the man, but he wouldn't let them get through. And some unknown bystanders noticed this and took him out of the way. Today in China, the event was officially banned. No one talks about it, and no one dares to bring it up. In an interview via email, we asked Professor Perry Link from the University of Riverside, what has changed since 1989? His response read, "Things have changed since 1989. Compared with the 1980s, the Chinese people have become more accustomed to and accepting of the repression of the government. A narrow-minded nationalism has grown, in part because the government encourages it, even as it represses memory of 1989. The student leaders from 1989 are, for the most part, still fighting, but they are mostly overseas now and not very effective. Good luck to you." Later, China has improved.